Start recording, and we are not live but recording. Welcome back to the podcast, Caleb Ewan. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Where are you?
Rest day. I don't know where I am actually. I'm on the west coast of France somewhere.
That's the most cyclist response ever. I don't know where I am. I'm in a hotel somewhere in France.
Name the country.
4.5 hours away from where I finished yesterday, and I'm on the west coast. And I think I might. Oh no, I'm not on the island.
You're kind of near Bordeaux.
I think so. Yeah.
Are you buckled?
No, I'm not buckled, but the last few days were really hard. 2 days ago, I had a really, really bad day where I went too deep to try to hang on with a bunch, and then I went over what I could do. Hold on a second, someone in my room. Hi. Hi. No, it's okay. I don't need anything. It's all right. No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hi. Trevian.
Cleaner.
I guess it looks so hard, this tour.
Yeah, it's been really hard actually. How many sprint days?
Especially for you guys.
But even the sprint days, the sprint day that I won had 2,500 meters of climbing in it. The first stage obviously was super hard.
Crosswind day.
Then the other sprint where I was I don't know, I was top 10 somewhere, but it wasn't a great one. There was the last 5Ks were super hard as well. So it hasn't been that many real sprints. We've got 2 coming up after this. We got 2 I think completely flat days coming up after the rest day, and then it's just mountains until Paris.
You feeling super quick? There's been a couple of tricky finishes, but we'll get to this. But the stage you won was pretty class.
Yeah, I felt good that day.
Fair hooking.
Yeah, I was coming. Yeah, I mean it was a good sprint. I was probably a little bit too far back than I wanted to be, and I did need some luck that I could get through the bunch then, because I think I was 17th wheel at 300 meters to go, and usually from there you never win. But luckily, I found my way, and I was coming through super quick, and I got through on the right on the barriers, just got through, and then then I got a pretty good run at the finish from there.
Let's start with stage 1. It was pretty hectic.
Oh, it was carnage that day. Half the bunch went down. Yeah.
How many times did you pin it?
I only pinned it once, but it was at a bad time because there was a crash on the finishing straight. Then we went through Nice a little bit, a few Ks through Nice, and then I crashed. But the crash before was the one that Phil crashed in. So the team car was with him, getting his bike and everything ready and making sure he was all right. Then I crashed, and then I had to wait for the second car. So there's all the team cars, and then the second car's in the next convoy, and I had to wait for the second car to come through. And this was at the bottom of the climb, so I was waiting there for a few minutes to get my bike. So I was already so far behind, out of the convoy and everything. And then I basically had to go full gas up the climb, which I mean, in the bunch for me is also already a struggle. And then I had to try to catch them, and then I went down the descent super quick because I knew that was my only chance to make up time. So I went down there quick, and then I had another teammate wait for me in the next valley. And then he took me back to the bunch, but then in the end the bunch neutralized it on the last descent. So I probably didn't have to go as hard up the climb, but then I never knew that it was gonna be neutralized on the last descent. But by then I was already pretty tired because of the effort before. But then in the sprints, I don't know if I would have had the legs to win it, but I would have had the legs to have a much better result. But then we got kind of squeezed on the ride, and then in the last K, I had to like my lead out guy. He jammed on the brakes in front of me. Now I ran into the back of him, and then I just lost all my momentum. And then I was trying to come back in the last K, but it was just so hard, and then I wasn't able to sprint.
When was the last time it rained in Nice?
I think it was like 3 or 4 months. So it was just
So the roads were just greasy as.
Yeah. Plus the race caravan were throwing soap bombs on the road as well.
Is that so? That's legit.
Yeah. There's soap all over the road. Like if you see like the helicopter picture of where I crashed, you just see like white foam all over the road.
Yo.
It's crazy.
You would have known like the parkour though, like the back of your hand, hey, you would have like known all the descents.
Yeah, I knew the descents quite well. Once I went from the back of the bunch to the front of the bunch in one descent, which is good. And then I think I made up like a minute and a half when I was coming back to the bunch on the next descent.
Look out.
Because it was wet, so the bunch was going down pretty slowly.
What was like when Astana went to the front and hooked on the downhill? Was everyone just ripping them?
Well, that was the same descent that I was trying to come back on.
Yeah, okay.
So I think I made up like a minute or a minute and a half on that descent.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sketchy, but I was like, if I am going to get back, I'm not going to get back on the climb, so
yeah,
I have to try to get back.
You were willing to risk your life for a chance at the yellow jersey.
Well, yeah, I mean, not risk my life, but I knew I kind of knew my limits. I didn't really there was never a moment where I was like sliding or anything like that. So
yeah,
I had it pretty under control, but I knew like from the previous times in the descent in the bunch that were going no one was risking it too much. It's like all the GC riders obviously and their teams don't want to risk it because you don't want your GC rider out on day one, and I mean no teams want any riders out on day one, so they were going down pretty cruisy. And then everyone's got like different tires and stuff. Some guys have really bad tires in the rain. We have really good tires in the rain, so I'm lucky about that. But
what were the ice skates in the 23s? Victorias.
Victorias. But I'm a Victorias now. But
and they're real good.
They're much better now. Yeah. They weren't great back then. I think we didn't have good ones either.
Unless you had the downstairs wheels in.
Well.
Oh yeah.
Downstairs wheels.
So, like, what's the vibe when the riders know there's some cowboy up the road in a soap machine, chucking soap on the road? It's bucketing down with rain. It's a wet tarmac. It's the first stage of the tour. There's like nervous energy everywhere.
Well, we didn't know that. We didn't know they were throwing soap bombs on the road. We only realized after that they were throwing soap bombs on the road.
Surely someone's head's on the chopping block for that. Even in the dry, how is that ever a good idea?
Oh, it's obviously a sponsor of the race, Albie. They're part of the caravan. They're paying big bucks. They're getting their soap out on the road at all costs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so village.
I think it was good publicity for them, but the tour said nothing about it. So, yeah.
What was the sensations after stage one? Because you obviously lost two big boys in Deegan Colburn, Phil Gill. Was the morale a little bit down?
Yeah, I guess it was a little bit down. I was pretty sad because my big goal for the tour this year was to try to get the yellow jersey on that first stage, because
of course,
it's not every year that we have the opportunity. But it didn't happen, and I was pretty disappointed with that. But there was obviously other stages to win, and my main lead out guys were still in the race, so I didn't lose too much confidence then. But it's always handy just having, especially when the teams are down to 8 as well now. It's always handy having 2 extra guys, and to have 2 less already from the first stage was always gonna make it a bit harder. Now we're down to 5. One of our riders out timed them yesterday. So we don't have that many guys, which is not ideal, but I'm sure we'll cope.
On the SBS tracker, you were a DNF, so there was a bit of confusion around yesterday's stage. Were you aware of that? A few messages coming in.
Yesterday's stage.
Yeah, on the you were finished like in the bunch on the results, but then you click on the people that DNF'd. There was Aru, and who was your teammate that didn't finish?
Crash.
Yeah, and then there was also you and Roger that were the DNFs, but that was obviously just on the tour tracker. It was just a mistake on their end, I guess.
Yeah,
So
I think it's the same the day before.
Okay.
But yeah, I was in like a group of like 70 or 80 guys yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
Got a panic call from Campbell this morning. Caleb's DNF'd.
Yeah, luckily, like I've been in like big trouble the last 2 days. I had to have my teammates wait for me. Like 2 days ago, Roger waited for me, and yeah, we were just like 2 up for probably 70 or 80k, and then we fought the group at 3Ks to go. Then yesterday, Jasper and Roger waited for me because like basically like the day before, what happened was I tried to hang in the bunch too long and I really blew. And like when I blow, it's like it's not going from like 400 watts to 350. It's like going from 400 to 200, and I can't go any harder. So this time we're like, all right, when we get to the first Cat 1, we just drop straight away and just ride a tempo that you can hold. So that those guys stayed with me. I just rode what tempo I knew I could hold for pretty much the whole climb. And then, yeah, we knew like we'd probably be a few minutes behind Gruppetto. And then we had like a fair bit of valley. So we went down to 10 pretty quick. Then Roger and Jasper just like pulled full gas in the valley. And then we got to this massive Gruppetto of like 60, 70 guys. And then once you're in a big Gruppetto like that, you're basically safe. So, yeah, I'm lucky I have guys like that to wait for me because, yeah, if I'm by myself there, like Steph, he was with us and then he got dropped from us. And once you're by yourself, it's like, especially when long valleys, like big Gruppetto rolling through, you can go super quick. When you're by yourself, like you're not going so quick.
So you've got Roger just dieseling you back onto the group.
Yeah,
just doing the job from the get-go.
Yeah.
Jeez. You owe him a beer.
Pretty lucky with that.
What's your climbing condition like?
Terrible at the moment. I think I'm definitely the worst climber in the tour. Even at my best, I'm probably like not one of the best, that's for sure.
Do you reckon at your best you're better? Like light fella, normally climb well, good in uphill kicks.
Yeah, but just like my genetics don't let me do it. Like I can't climb for a long time. Like as soon as the climb's more than like 15, 20 minutes, my body's just like, oh, can't do it. So yeah, I don't know, like, and it's something that like I can't train for too much because if I train more for that, then it's going to take away from my sprint. So
yeah,
just to focus on what I'm good at and then just struggle through the mountains. I have my teammates to help me. And then when it comes to a sprint day, then I know that, then I'm one of the fastest. So I prefer to stay one of the fastest and be really bad at climbing than become better at climbing, mediocre in sprinting.
Yeah. So, how do you? So if you like your climbing conditions down a touch, how's your sprint?
Well, my sprints like pretty much stay the same unless I train for something different. Like if I just train fully for climbing, then it's definitely going to take away from my sprint. But it's like, when I was under 23s, I could climb quite good. But then I was like probably 7 or 8 kilos lighter than I am now. So like your body changes so much from when you're younger to
7 or 8
now.
kilos you put on in like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Wow.
Like muscles and everything, they grow way more now they're way bigger now than what they used to be. It's like
what are you weighing at now? What are you weighing at?
Like 68.
Yeah, okay.
And then when I was middle of lockdown, I was like 72. But yeah, now I'm back down to like, yeah, I'd say 67, 68 is my good
It's
race
good
weight.
money. Yeah.
And then like when I was under 23s, I was like in junior, I was like 60, 61.
And
So a fair bit
and
different.
is the horsepower huge compared to the under 23s with that weight?
You'd hope
added?
so.
Yeah, like I'm way stronger. Like just in general. My max power probably hasn't gone up like a huge amount. But like getting to the sprints and everything better, like I'm much better like that. I can get the sprint way fresher. When I first turned pro and I was going into a world tour sprint, like usually I would be dead by the time the sprint comes. Whereas now, obviously, I can still sprint at the end of a lead out or, yeah, at the end of a hard stage. Whereas before, I never was able to.
Yeah. What so like Campbell touched on, you lost 2 guys after the first day. You didn't get that yellow jersey. You were hunting. Like, how much difference does it make having 2 less guys compared to when you're going against Bennett, Quickstep, and they got the full squad just going hell for leather? Or where does it make a difference? Like what's the
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely makes a difference because, you know, like
2 extra guys? But
2 extra guys is like at least a kilometer extra in the end. So yeah, I think you can imagine like if Jasper, he was on the front with a K to go, if we had 2 extra guys in front of him, then you can do like a proper lead out. Whereas now you have to take more risks and like sit in the bunch a bit longer, sit in the bubble where it's like harder to stay together. So it's just when you do a lead out, you can like eliminate a lot of risks. Whereas when you don't do a lead out, there's lots of risks involved with like getting squeezed off the wheel, someone crashing in front of you, getting boxed in, and all that kind of stuff. So now we just have to take more risks, and that's why you saw in the stage that I won, I second wheel with a kilometer to go, but then I dropped back into the bunch because I can't just sit second wheel and try to win. So I had to take that risk and sit back into the bunch and sit in the bubble where it's a bit easier, and then just hope that I can get through in the end. But I mean, a lot of the time it doesn't open up for you, and like I'll just be sitting in the wheels, I can't get out. Whereas I was lucky that time that I was actually able to get out.
Was it a proper headwind on stage 3, the one you won?
I don't think so because I mean, like a super fast sprint will be like a 72k an hour, whereas this sprint I maxed at like 70k an hour. So I mean, it was like a
Still quick.
If it was a proper block headwind, yeah, like sprinting at 62, 63k an hour maybe, especially when it's like this was a slight uphill as well. But still sprinting at 70k an hour up a real slight uphill. I don't think there was as much wind as people said there were. There was.
So you were just going that quick because everyone was going backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was going really quick through when I came through. I knew I already knew from before I passed Sagan that if I got through, I was going to win because you can feel how much quicker you're going than everyone else. So I knew like, all right, if I clear Sagan on the right on the barrier, then I know I'm coming with so much speed that I'll get past Bennett in the front.
How close were you to the barrier? Was it tight? Like we were talking, it's like these things just happen so quick. Like you're saying, you're doing like 70k an hour and you're making these decisions.
Yeah.
It's like bang, I'm going through there. Like don't even think about it. Or
what's
it like you're doing 70 in a bunch kick?
It's like slow motion. You're really like you're making the calculation in your head. All right, I can see Sagan drifting over, and I know how fast I'm coming. And I'm like, all right, if he keeps drifting at that rate and I keep coming at this rate, then I'm just going to get through. But then you can't you can always try to calculate what the other riders are going to do. Like you can kind of see from their movements where they're going. But what you can't predict is like, I don't know if Sagan's going to be drifting and then just like close the door completely. So that's where the risk is because I can kind of calculate that, at this rate, I'm going to get through, but then I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's going to do. So I know there's always the risk that he's just going to shut the door. But yeah, luckily he didn't.
Should we get the footage up, Campbell?
Yeah, get the footage up, Albie. Bring the clip up. Let's have a look at the overhead.
New little
I'm
feature.
excited to see it again. Look at this.
Here we go. Let's boost that out a bit.
Look at this. He's not even in the picture.
Let's just stop here. We haven't even started. You're not even there.
That's 300 meters to go there. Like they just went through 300 to go.
No, Caleb.
And that's
No,
Sagan
Caleb.
hitting out in front now.
So you just make the picture here. Like
Yeah, I've just gone,
back,
I think, past hard.
yeah. Back at 300 to go. Were you like, oh shit, like this could go pear-shaped?
No, not really at that time. But see, it went from like really hectic, like block the road basically like 100 meters earlier to now it's kind of thinned out a lot. And I was already, I went from basically like 100 meters earlier, 17th wheel to now I'm 6th wheel.
Are you sprinting here? Like are the afterburners on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or are you still kind of loading things
Winding it up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was sprinting, but I was not at full speed yet. I think you can still see when I'm coming past Bennett in the end that I'm still accelerating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait
big
for
time.
this.
Good
This
sprint,
part-
always pushing to the line.
I'm just gonna roll the tape here because this part is sick.
Get ready to pause the tape again.
Where do you want it?
Now, pause the tape.
Ta!
Like
Pause the tape.
threading. Like I love it that the title of this clip is "Threading the Needle." Threads the needle. Look at that. Were you ever thinking of going left, or was it like I'm going right?
Well, if you go back like a few seconds,
Rewind the tape, Albie.
should rewind it a bit more, back to kind of where we were. All right, so like here,
So you've got a decision to make here.
here the left's open, but I knew the fastest rider. Well, I mean, the fastest rider in this scenario is going to be Bennett. I saw Bennett on the right, so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna chase after him because on the left you got like Hugo Hofstadter, who's not super quick, Trenton, who's not super quick. You got
Zolo as well.
Zolo, who's already fading, I think, or maybe he's just starting. Sagan, who's fading because he's already started.
Yeah.
So I knew like if Bennett could get through that gap there, that following him was probably the best way. But then I didn't know that Sagan was going to start drifting right. But then I already committed to I already committed by then. So then I just had to go for it. And I saw he wasn't drifting over too quickly.
Because this decision here, like I find this super interesting because if you go left, if you follow out to the left, he dies in the ass. If you follow Nizzolo, he goes backwards.
But when you play it again, there's going to be the left side's fully closed, so it's super lucky. See, like now it's closed.
Yeah.
See, I'm already in front of Hofstadter's wheel here, whereas if I was behind him, there would be nowhere for me to go. Whereas the right's still open.
Just quickly, I just want to point out how drastically that situation changes in 0.2 of a second.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about these decisions you got to make on the fly and just how quickly the scenario changes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Whoosh.
Then yeah, see, you can see here I'm really close to the barrier.
Like your right leg is almost clipping the barrier, although they are angled like away from the road, aren't they?
I looked down at one point when I was like, when I was sprinting, and obviously your tire's going like side to side like this. And I think my tire was about a centimeter away from the barrier when it was like angled towards the barrier. And you see, like, if you play it here, you see me like hesitate a little bit because I almost run into barrier. But
also, at this point, like, what you thinking? I got to hit that gap left. Like, this is the run home.
Yeah, because Bennett's on the barrier. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to get through that now. But I'm coming now with
So much pace.
a lot of speed that when you see the open space on the left, it's just like an obvious, I'm going left. So I'm coming through real quick.
Did you have to back off the gas to make this work?
A little bit there, but not much, like half a pedal stroke maybe. But now from there, basically I knew I had one because I can feel how much quicker I'm going than the rest of the guys. Like you feel like you can judge how much quicker you're going. So I knew like, all right, I got through that gap now, and all I need to do is just, unless he's going to accelerate a lot more, but I already know he's sprinting full gas. And if I'm coming like 3 or 4K an hour quicker, then you can judge like, all right, he's going this quick, I'm going this quick, and the finish is there that I'm going to come past him.
Mm. And then this happens. Whoosh.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Nice.
Nice.
Good
Happy to get a win early on, to be honest. It's usually like last year and the tour last year, it was just like I kept missing opportunities, and the longer you leave it, it's like the more pressure you have on you to do it. And like I got to this stage last year where we were in the first rest day and I hadn't won anything yet, and it was like stressful.
Pressure builds.
Yeah, I mean, you still have the like. I know I got 2 sprints coming up, and there's still a lot of pressure on me to do it. But it's like a nice thought knowing that, all right, whatever happens now in the tour, whether I win again or not, it's still. I mean, winning a Tour de France stage makes you year. If you don't win any race in the year and you win 1 Tour de France stage, you've had a good year. So obviously, I want to win more, but in the end, it's if I don't win again, it's not going to be a disappointing tour. Whereas if I didn't have one now, there's so much pressure just to get that first one. Just to it's like if you don't win as a team in the tour, it's like a big disappointment.
So what happens like 2 hours? Like, so you win, cross the line. What's the 2 hours like after it? Is it just full on? Like, what are you doing?
So first you go behind the podium, you do flash interview, then you go into the changing room kind of thing behind the podium. You get all your new kit on, then you go out, go on the podium, come back off, and then you go to like the media room kind of thing. They have it's like what you said with before with like the F1 media, where they have a camera and then all the journalists are in another room. So you do that one, and I think that's for all the journalists that write the stories. So it's like on a Zoom call kind of thing, and then that's like the press conference, and then from there you go to all the TV interviews. Then you do all the TV interviews, and then from there you go to drug testing. Then you do your drug testing, and then that's basically it for the
protocol
race kind of part. And then then you go to your hotel.
So the team bus is gone, and you've just got to jump in a vehicle.
Team bus is gone by then, because that's probably all up like at least an hour, a bit over an hour.
Wow.
To do all that kind of stuff, and then then you go to your hotel. So
imagine having like a jersey, like having the green jersey or the yellow jersey for like 2 weeks, like doing that protocol after every stage must be so hard. Yeah,
that's why a lot of the GC riders, they don't want the yellow jersey so early. Like I was speaking to a guy from Jumbo, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was saying, we hope that Yates holds the jersey for a lot longer. So then, Primoz is not in yellow yet, but now he's in yellow. So he has to go through it, and it's super tiring, like every day if you do that. When you win a stage, it's fine because you're like pumped that you won a stage. But if it's just like not just, but like if you're getting the yellow jersey every day and you have to go through all that and all the interviews, and super tiring.
How's it how's the overall experience compared to last year? Like, do you
It's not-
notice big differences, or is it just kind of you're just in the bubble?
It's not as good. It's like the Tour de France is made by the atmosphere around it. Like there's like thousands of people. It's just like everything's just way bigger than normal. Whereas now it's just like people are kind of like the public's held back a little bit, and it's not in school holidays either. So like in the weekdays, people are at work and stuff. So just like the feeling of it is not. Doesn't feel like Tour de France like last year. Like it really felt like, it's just like crazy. There's so many people, and you really felt like the enormity of the event. But now this year, it's just doesn't feel as big.
You can tell that from the TV. Like there's just not as many people around, obviously because of coronavirus. But like you said, like not being school holidays, not being summer.
I already noticed a massive difference from racing in the weekday to the weekend. Like the last 2 days has been way more people than usual.
Too many people?
On the Perisword.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are, because I thought before the start of the tour they said they're going to close off all the climbs, and that definitely hasn't happened. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, like we're all trying to stay safe, and it's pretty disappointing when you see like guys on the side of the road with no masks on, and if everyone just did their bit to keep themselves safe, keep the people around them safe, and keep us safe, then it'd be a bit better. But I mean, I think like 90% of the people are doing the right thing and having their mask and keeping their distance. But when it's so crowded at the top of the mountain, we can't be like a meter apart, and like people aren't a meter apart. But I don't know. It's just the way.
See, it's rest day today. You've been tested this morning.
Yeah.
And then how long does it take you to get your results back?
I think we're going to get them back tonight. So you'll know if your team has a positive case tonight. And then I think they're doing a press release tomorrow morning with like they're announcing all of the results.
The hit list.
You're going home. You're going home. You're going home.
I'm interested to see like what's going to happen.
And is this a list of like, this is not just riders, this is mechanics, Swannies, DSs, everyone.
Everyone that follows the Tour de France, like a couple of thousand people.
Wow.
It's like, everyone, the people that do the commentating, the people that are on like the start line bloody blowing the gun, and like we're basically like everyone that follows the Tour de France who is involved in the Tour de France is at the race. They were tested, and then they're supposed to go into their Tour de France bubble, and then that's it. Like they don't make contact with the public, which I still don't really understand, because then we go to hotels and there's public in the hotels and things like that. But I mean, they're doing, obviously there's only so much you can do. So I think they're doing what they can, but it's pretty annoying. Like now we usually on the rest days, your families would come visit you, and because it's a long time away. So basically by the time you go to the tour like 4 days before it starts, and the whole Tour de France is like a month away. So the rest days usually your families come and you see your family, and that's always nice. But now with the situation, we can't see families or anything, so that's quite hard.
What are you doing on the rest day then? Like if there's none of that, I'm guessing like there's no media allowed into the team hotel and stuff either. Like just a super relaxed day.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I rode for 40 minutes this morning. I had to see like on the rest day I'd like to sleep in, but we had a coronavirus test this morning, so I couldn't sleep in.
What time was that?
Well, actually, after when I was saying that, I was like, people are going to be like, "What the hell that is?" But I did set my alarm at 9 o'clock, so I guess it is a sleep in. But like we got back in the hotel like midnight last night, so by the time you actually get to sleep and everything, it's like 1 in the morning. So yeah, I would just like usually I just not set an alarm and just sleep as long as possible. Then get up and go for a ride. But yeah, now we had to do coronavirus tests, so I just woke up like 10 minutes before we had to leave, got my clothes on, left, did my test, got back, had some breakfast, and then we went for like a 40-minute ride. And then yeah, now I'm speaking to you guys.
And everyone's got their own room this year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Good or bad? You enjoying it? Your own space?
Yeah, well, so when I'm under pressure, like when I'm on a sprint stage or something, I like to be by myself because, like, yeah, I'm under a lot of pressure. I don't want to really talk to anyone. I just want to like process it myself. So I like to have my own room. But yeah, on days when that, yeah, it's not too stressful for us, like mountain days and stuff. And yeah, sometimes it's nice to have a roommate, but
Yeah.
yeah, overall, if I could choose, I'd room by myself because you just do things at your own pace. You go to bed when you want to go to bed, and yeah, you don't have to think about anyone else. You just do what you want.
We've talked about this several times, haven't we, Alex? This whole solo
Yeah.
room on tour thing. I think there's a lot in it. Like,
What do you think?
yes, I for sure. I think you should have your own room if you want it. Like you
Yeah.
were saying, some people might want to have the company, but just using the bathroom when you want, going to bed when you want, putting stuff like over two beds, just like,
Yeah.
just feeling relaxed.
Yeah. Like
For
I
3
remember
weeks as well.
on day 3, I won't say who it was, but like I remember rooming with someone, and I got out of the shower, and it's like the room was just black, and he was sleeping.
He just killed the light.
I hadn't even got ready for bed yet. And then like trying to like walk around with your torch, like trying to look for your pajamas and stuff, and it's just that you don't have any of that, But like I usually when I'm here, I'll room with Jasper, and we get on really well. So when you room with someone for a long time, like we room together at pretty much every race. So like we all know each other's routines.
That's
and
different.
We kind of we both know like we both go to sleep around like 11 o'clock, and then we wake up around the same time. But some guys like to go to bed at like 9 o'clock, and then other guys like to go to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's then it's just easier to room by yourself.
It's a popular. It comes up on the pod a bit when we see teams like doing these like tiny little percentage gains, but then they just go back. Then riders just go back to their room and just sleep with some other bloke that, as you've just talked about, is on a completely different schedule.
Yeah. I know like Ineos, they always room by themselves.
That big budget coming in.
Yeah, because they have to like book another hotel for all their staff, because you get to usually at the tour you get enough rooms that everyone has to share a room. So if there's like 30 guys on the team, then there's 15 rooms to share. Whereas
doesn't the DS get their own room? Aren't they like the Kings? They get their own room.
Yeah, DS and Doctor, I think.
Doesn't make any sense.
DSs.
But your GC rider or your key sprinters like box on with some guy who's hitting the showers at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Got to be by yourself to make sure those WhatsApp schedules get out on time.
Yeah. That's the other thing actually. It's like sometimes you might miss something in the schedule, and when you have a roommate, there's like at least one of you has like seen that. Whereas when you have yourself, there's been a few times we've been waiting on the bus now, and like, where is this guy? And he's just missed something in the schedule.
What are we talking about next, Albie? Stage 7? Crosswind Day?
Do we want to touch on the stage 5 sprint a little bit just quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Caleb, how'd you find that one?
That was the one with the uphill in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit of an uphill, twisty, little bit technical finish.
Yeah. It was one of those days where we were sprinting on this road, and I was like, you sprint on any road in France, and it's just picked like some back road that's full of like holes that have been patched up, and I was like, what the hell? But anyway, that sprint, I was too far back anyway, so it wasn't going to make a difference. But yeah, we basically went up a climb, and my lead out man's always conscious of making sure I don't do a massive effort before the finish. Like before, like in that like last kind of 2Ks, he knows if he puts me into the red, then yeah, I'm going to struggle sprinting. So we're going up this climb, and like we we're being overtaken a bit, but he didn't want to really accelerate. Then we came from 2 lanes to 1 lane coming to kilometers to go. So we're too far back, and there was no room for us pretty much. Like basically there's no room for us to move up there. Then it was kind of like panic once we got to a K to go, because yeah, we had to move up. I think it was super far back, like 25th or 30th wheel, I think. Then we had to do a massive effort to get back to the front, kind of back into where you need to be for contention. And then even then I was still too far back for that finish, which was kind of like a tailwind fast finish. And then yeah, I'd used up too much energy already before I tried to start sprinting, and we were already too far back. I started sprinting on that bumpy road, and I just started like skidding out, and just bad day. It's always super frustrating because you get to especially in a tour like this where you know there's not that many opportunities, and it's just like an opportunity wasted.
Sunweb got organised, didn't they? Like that was one of the rare times where like three guys left with 500 meters.
Yeah, that is a super good job.
If you're too far back, there's no way you get into the front when it's got let out like that.
I don't know how he didn't win from there, but
little clip. You know why he didn't win? Because there's this madman called Wout van Aert who's just tearing the peloton to shreds.
It's unbelievable.
This guy's out of control, man.
He's so good.
Is he the talk of the town?
Yeah. Guys like that, it's so hard to describe how good they are to someone that's watching it on TV, because no one realizes like how hard, like even I'm like the first guy to get dropped in the climb, and the bunch is just like full, just like still like a big bunch going up the climb, and it looks like we're all just like cruising up. But we're going so hard, like out of every head, it's like 450 watts trying to hold the wheel, and just like everyone's just sitting there. But then Wout's there, like 20 guys to go, like 20 guys left in the bunch, like pulling on the front, and then the next day he's winning his sprint.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. It's like it's same. I mean, same or better than what Sagan used to be like.
Based off, I mean, Sagan has done it for like many years, but what Van Aert is doing is like at a higher level, especially like in the on the climbing front.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Sagan never had to work for like a GC rider like that's in contention to win the tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, chapeau to him. It's impressive what he's done.
Maybe Groenewegen might get the arse. They're like, no, we don't need you. We'll just have Welt for the sprints, and we can have him pulling in the mountains as well.
Yeah.
Cutting off the books.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's probably not too much. He's probably not much slower than Groenewegen, but can climb 100 times better. So,
yeah.
Stage 7, Caleb. We didn't get pictures till like, well, it wasn't that delayed, to be fair, but it was in relative sense of what had happened in the race. Like what was it like at the start, and then just run us through that first 20 clicks
and the whole stage,
and then the rest.
Horrible stage. Again, I wasn't climbing so good. So we started on a climb that was like quite hard. Good launching pad for a strong break. 3 guys went away. It was solid. Like again, it's like in the bunch doing like 450 watts, like trying to hang on, drifting back through a little bit.
How's everyone still here?
Yeah, everyone besides like.
So, but like, what actually are you? So for like this, you've got a Cat 3 out of the blocks, like 3K. How much wattage are you actually doing?
450, mate.
450. I was doing 450, and I was like, all right. So we started on a non-categorized climb. 3 guys went away, and I was like, thank God, because I was like, this starts yeah, big strong group going to go away, then we're going to have to start riding. So I was like, 3 guys, perfect. And I'd already lost some positions because it was hard on the first uncategorized climb. Then we went down this fast descent, so it was like couldn't move up really, and like everyone still wanted to be at the front, so it was just sketchy. And I was like, oh, whatever. I'm sitting pretty close to the back, probably shouldn't be there, but I was like, yeah, break's gone, no stress. And then we got to this categorized climb, and Bora, I heard on the radio like Bora is starting to pull, and I was like, oh, it's not good. I was kind of like near the back of the bunch already. And I was like, all right. I think the climb was like 3K. In the first K, I was doing like 450, 470, and I was like, I can't hold this for 3K. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ease it up a bit, go at a tempo that I know I can maybe hold for 3K. So I went back down to like 420, which is still like for a 68 kilo guy.
That's still hooking.
The bunch is just riding away, and I was like, shit, like I can't even go any harder. Like I've got.
Do you have any guys with you at this stage?
Hey,
Do you have any other guys with you, or are you by yourself?
yeah, I see Roger also coming back through the bunch. Well, like, all right, I'm just gonna sit on him, and then he's good at pacing, and then then they just didn't stop from there to the finish.
It was ridiculous.
I had all my guys like stopping and waiting for me, trying to come back, and then
Like from a TV point of view, it was one of the most exciting stages I've seen for several years. Besides like a mountain stage, of course. But at what point were you like, it's all done? Like this is going to be a really long day.
Well, see, we thought maybe Bora was just pulling full gas
to the
sprint, and we're like, all right, we'll keep the pressure on. We were already 4 minutes behind by then. Then I was already like, all right, probably not going to come back. Had like C's Bowl come up to me and like, hey, you guys need to start rolling because we're not going to get them back. And I was like, hey mate, they're
we ain't
gone.
getting it back.
Doesn't matter how hard you ride, we're not coming back. We have like a 15K climb coming up, and we're definitely not going to come back on that. And then it's basically downhill to the finish. So, lost hope. But then the other problem was time cut was 20 minutes. I mean, we got dropped 155K to go. A bunch going full gas. So we're like, all right. So it wasn't like once we realized that we weren't coming back that we could just sit up. It was like in the bunch as well. I mean, in our group as well, like 4 or 5 minutes behind, we're going full gas as well, like swapping off. Like it was super hard.
I think that's what people don't understand. It's like, you get dropped, you just cruise in. But when the bunch is doing like 60K an hour and there's still 150K to go, like you guys are chopping off all day just to make time cut.
Yeah. It's so annoying. It's like, you're going so hard, and it's just like, you're just going so hard to make it. It's easy to go hard when you're going for the win.
How many Ks to go did you guys like, no, all right, we're going to make it inside the cut, like we can back it off? Or there was none of that? It was like, we're chopping off all the way to the finish.
It was like chopping off all the way to finish.
With like 30K to go, like in the front guys, I think Kwiatkowski split it up. They must have been doing like 70K an hour. Do you remember that section of road? You came out of that town a few roundabouts.
Well.
The Gruppetto split in the crosswinds.
Yeah.
Were you in the front echelon?
I think I was, yeah.
Do you know how fast you guys were doing there? Because on TV, the front group was like, mate, they were going so quick. It was ridiculous.
We were rolling through like maybe like 80%, not rolling through like 100% that we were trying to split the Gruppetto. We were already going. It was a real like more like tailwind than crosswind. But see, the problem is like a lot of the climbers, they can't do like 400 watts on the flat.
Yeah.
So as soon as you go 65, 70K an hour, like they're just holding the wheel, and then it's like if there's like a tiny bit of crossing, they're just gone. So it wasn't like proper crosswinds. Like I was super surprised after I felt it and then saw what happened in the finish that it split so much. But it was really really fast. Like we were doing like 65K an hour in Gruppetto. And that wasn't like pulling full gas either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine the bunch like before the stage. I asked for a 55 because it was going to be super quick.
Did you get it on?
And I didn't get it on in the end. I asked
that was ridiculous.
Well, do
It
they
is
they
matter-
still say do they still say no to the 55 even though you're Caleb Ewan Tour de France stage winner?
Yeah, you probably asked for it with 10 minutes to go before the rollout.
I was in the meeting and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be fast in the end. And I was like, oh, can I have 55? Like, yeah, we don't carry around 55s. But anyway,
I guess if the truck would stay back at the next hotel.
yeah, truck just goes straight to the next hotel, so all the equipment's not there.
Um,
And then it just keeps getting harder and harder. Like into the next day, 2 cat ones and a horse cat. Like it's
Horrible.
yeah.
It's
Like
horrible.
how
when
what's
you're
it like
Sure.
mentally, like knowing that like I'm going to be one of the first guys dropped. I've got to ride hard all day just to make time cut. Like that's impressive to like.
That's good when you know. Like it's when you don't expect it that it's the hardest. When you're like, all right, I'm going to be in a big group and there's probably 20 guys drop before me and no stress. But I know, like, all right, I'm probably going to be first guy dropped here or one of the first guys dropped. And I'm just mentally unprepared for it. I'm prepared like for 100Ks in Gruppetto. When I was younger, it was a bit harder. When I was like first term pro, Gruppetto really like, oh, how do I explain it? Like I really did not
you'd
like.
never been dropped before?
Yeah, like you're not used to being dropped and going like so hard 20 minutes behind the bunch. Because it's like it's your mentality is different when you're going super hard to finish a race than if you're going super hard to win. But yeah, now I'm used to being group header. I'm used to being first dropped. I should be climbing better as the tour goes on. Like last year, I was the same. I was like worst climber at the start, and then as the tour went on, I think my best climbing day was stage 20. So I'm hoping for better legs coming up, and I think that's something I miss with that, like because we haven't done so much racing, is just like kind of like that resilience to like keep pushing on the climbs and everything. I could train like my speed and everything, and that's fine. But when it gets to the mountain days where you're like pushing a lot for an hour and then descend another hour or like half an hour or 45 minutes, just like that pushing like all day, I think I miss that. So I think after a few mountain stages, hopefully I'll get stronger or I'll get worse, and then it's going to be bad. But who knows? I'm hoping for better legs in the next few days.
So you've done enough grand tours now that you're confident that like this is like I'm going to get better. There's not like, oh, I'm going to get through this. It's like I'm going to get stronger as I go on, and I'm going to be better at the back end.
Yeah, I should be. Like last year, for example, in the tour, basically from this rest day on, I won my 3 stages. I was climbing way better than I was in the first part. So I'm hoping for the same. But like, if you come to the tour like a little bit underdone, then it can go the other way. Like you could just be going so hard and getting so much more tired that you start to go worse. Or if you come in at a good level, this is kind of like just making you stronger and stronger. And as the tour goes on, you get better and better. So yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be better in the next few weeks.
What was the start of yesterday's stage like? Because it took like the break didn't really go until like the first major climb. Was that like filthy first hour and a half, like super fast?
Till the first climb, I think I had like 350 normalized power.
Because you know that you had to stay on.
Yeah, like if you get
before that climb, if you get dropped there.
If I get dropped there, then I'm.
I mean, you and Fabio could have been doing it.
Chopping hands with Fabio.
Yeah, for the rest of it, like, so yeah, it's just like sometimes like, all right, I have to stay on now, otherwise I'm not making it.
What was Fabio doing yesterday, bro? You could have been 2 up with him.
So I was in front of him.
That's what I'm saying. You could have been back there with him if you wanted to.
Well, he pulled out, so luckily I wasn't.
What's he doing?
Hey, the start was hard. Really hard.
He's won a grand tour.
But, when it starts hard, it's hard for everyone.
No, bro. Sometimes you get a bad day, but geez, that's a shocker.
Climbers, when they struggle a bit, then they don't like being dropped 100Ks ago. So that's what I mean. Like he knew. Well, I mean, he didn't know, but like mentally, he wasn't ready to be dropped with 100Ks to go. I knew I was gonna be dropped with 100Ks to go, and that's it. I'll deal with it. Whereas when he's dropped with 100Ks to go by himself, he's just like, oh my god, my life's ending. And then I'm doing the tour now. Because yeah, you see when GC guys are in group header, a lot of the time they just pull the pin when they're having a really bad day. But we're used to, as sprinters and like, I don't know, bigger guys, we're just used to having bad days all the time. So yeah.
Who are you hanging out?
There could be something wrong there. I actually don't know, but
who are you hanging out with in the bunch this year? Because there's only you and Richie, the Australians, and there's a couple of Kiwi boys, but obviously they've had some pretty important jobs to do this first week. Who have you been chilling out with in the bunch? Or there's been no time for that sort of caper?
He's just been chopping turns for the last 9 days.
Yeah, I haven't been so much with that, but like my main, we have like a training group in Monaco, which is like myself, Sam Bennett, Valgren, and Luke Rowe.
Yeah.
Usually when we're around each other, we chat. It's not so much time for chatting.
It's the Tour de France.
Yeah. So,
It's the tour.
Chatting group head a little bit, maybe. Besides that.
So you're feeling good after you've got through the last 3 days, especially? Like, all right, that's done.
Yeah.
Rest day, into a couple of sprint stages. Like, what do you do mentally to get ready for the next 2?
I get nervous. I'm nervous for sprints.
Like, are you nervous now?
Yeah, you nervous now? Like, you're already thinking about tomorrow?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Last few days.
What are you thinking about? Every possible scenario.
Yeah. Like the first stage in Nice, I would have run through that finish in my mind like 1,000 times. And obviously it never goes the way that you think it will, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't think about too much in that, and it might be all right, but it's stressful, you know, like your whole team's like I feel the pressure is like really like the whole team is here. It's like to help me win. And like I have to deliver for them. And it's a lot of pressure. You know, like they're helping me get through all the mountain stages, and
yeah.
You know, when you look out the window and it's just like, you know, you're passing your trucks and all these vehicles and like big organization, and it's literally here to make sure you win. Like you have to deliver for like all of them. And it's stressful.
No doubt, it's big business.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that change over kind of the last 5 years, say? Like, are you more stressed? Do you feel the pressure more, or are you getting better at it?
The change I notice is like when you first turn pro, like for example, when I won my Volta stage in Neo Pro, like it was unexpected. So it was like pure joy that you've won it. And like no one expected it, and it's like you've done something really good. Whereas now when I go to a race, it's like not just joy, it's like thank God I've won now. Like it's just a whole lot of relief that you've won. And you know, like in the end, like the team, they don't put pressure on you, and they say they don't put pressure on you, but it's just there because, you know, like at the end of the day, like what I said, like they're here to make sure you win. So yeah, you feel the pressure anyway.
Just try and think that guys like Primoz are like got that stress every day.
Yeah.
Like they cannot have a bad day every day.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
a lot of respect for those guys.
No thanks.
Yeah, one bad day and your whole thing's over. So yeah. Guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick because I'm 18 minutes late to lunch already. So
yeah. Well, that's an hour. We've chatted for an hour.
Cool.
So probably we can let you go to lunch. Thanks for coming on. It's good.
I don't think there'll be crosswinds tomorrow and the next day. Unfortunately for you guys, it's fortunate for me because I don't really like crosswinds.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like looking at the map, it's like right on the sea. Like
I was worried about that was something I was really worried about but I was looking at the weather. It shouldn't be too much, but you never know. At the tour, like it only takes like 5k an hour wind, and yeah.
Do you feel safe, like confident? Or like,
He's copping it from the DS.
Yeah. All right, you got to go.
Roger just messaged me and said my tuna salad's going cold.
All right.
All right. See you, mate.
Good luck tomorrow, bro.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for the chat.
Talk to you
See you
later.
around.
Yeah, maybe next rest day we'll do the
Yeah.
same.
More than
No doubt.
welcome.
Stage wins.
Hopefully.
Hopefully the
Can-
tour's going ahead. Don't know.
We can
Wow.
do the. Yeah. Good luck for your test.
Thank you.
All right.
Really, I should be alright, but you never know.
See you, mate.
All right, catch you, fellas.
See you, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.